update. So I know I haven't done a video in a very long time. Reason being is I've had quite an eventful couple of weeks. I have had my CAR-T, yay! So as you can see, I'm looking a hell of a lot better. So this video is going to be about my experience of having the CAR-T cells, because not many people have had it, and if you are lucky enough to be accepted to have it, well done. And my experience might not be the same as yours. According to the doctors, mine was incredibly different to other people, and I shall get to that point at some point during the video. So I'm going to start from the very beginning. So I had my CAR-T conditioning first of all, which was on the 18th of September. So basically go in like you would normal chemo. I had a bag of Mesna that goes in that just protects obviously your organs and stuff. And then I had 2 bags of poison, the chemo. One is infused for an hour, and then the other one is for half an hour. All 3 days, so you have it for 3 days, they're all exactly the same. However, one of the products that goes in irritates the kidneys and the lining of the bladder, so you do get given like a pee stick. So every time you go, you need to check it to make sure there's no blood in it. The second day I had a tiny little bit of blood in there, but I just needed to drink more and it all went, so that was okay. I don't know entirely what they do if you do have a lot, because they did tell me, but I can't remember. But yeah, so 3 days, exactly the same. Probably takes around about 2.5 hours, depending how busy they are, I guess. And then I went home for the Friday night, so I went home after Friday chemo, home at Saturday and home most of Sunday, and then I got admitted at 9:30 in the evening. So just went to sleep, obviously. I had a fridge in my room, which was cool. I had my own bathroom, which was cool, and the room was actually quite big, which was cool. So that was all right. So yeah, Monday comes around and I have 4 doctors all standing around with their computers and their clipboards and stuff. They went through what I'd been through before, obviously side effects and things like that. They also asked me to write a sentence down. Choose a small sentence or a short sentence, because you'll have to write it every morning and evening for your duration that you're in there. And that's just for like if you suffer from confusion and things like that, which you can from the CAR-T cells, they'll explain that to you. They can see it via the change in your writing style. They'll also ask you stuff like count backwards from 100 to 0 in tens. They'll ask you to take your left hand and touch your nose or close your eyes and stick your tongue out. They'll also ask you where you are, like, you know, Birmingham, Queen Elizabeth, and what year it is, stuff like that. Again, for confusion things. So my cells arrived at exactly 5 to 3 in the afternoon. They have to be put in via a cannula, because they can't go in via your pick, because A, it goes too slowly and they get stuck. So cannula, obviously quicker, and it gets put in via gravity, not via the chemo pump as well. So you just got to stand there and wait for the all to go in. But it's probably just about that much. It looks a little bit like thick lemonade, I guess, or lemon juice, whatever. So yeah, they make sure that everything has gone through the tube, and then give it a flush to make sure that you've got all of the cells, and then that's pretty much it. So 3 months waiting for 5 minutes, but I'm telling you now, bloody worth it. So yeah, that was it until 20 minutes later when the drama started. Yay, more drama. I went so cold. I was shivering, my teeth would not stop chattering, and yeah, I kind of like snuggled up in the shitty little blanket that you get in hospitals. So I asked for another blanket. She did threaten me that she'd take the first blanket off me, because that hot actually, even though I felt that cold. My temperature went from like 36 something to 38.7, and at 39 you win a trip to the ICU. So it got to 38.9, so I just narrowly missed it. So yeah, they all came rushing in after I pushed the buzzer, and I've told them obviously what had happened and what was going on, and they were like, "Well, it can't be the CAR T cells yet, because it doesn't happen that quickly. You must be allergic to one of the preservatives in the little bag that contains the cells and stuff." I was like, "Oh, okay, fair enough." So my temperature went up, down, up, down, up, down. They gave me paracetamol to bring it down, and then kept bugging me every hour, taking me obs. So that's the blood pressure, oxygen, and pulse. I had bags of fluid, lots of bags of fluid, like 6-hour bag fluid, 8-hour bags of fluid. They also put me on like a blanket antibiotics to make sure that it wasn't an infection that they missed, because obviously you can't have an infection whilst you have the CAR Ts, because it will make it even worse. So yeah, that was pretty much it for that. They just well, I was okay the next day. Tuesday I was absolutely fine, but the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, over the weekend, and then Monday, Tuesday, I was the temperature was just all over the place. So I got no sleep whatsoever, because I was surrounded by nurses all the time, and I felt a little bit sicky as well. So sometimes I didn't eat, so they'd have to weigh me every other day, and I was sleeping, so I wasn't drinking, so that's why I'd have the bags of bloody fluid, and I was up and down to the toilet all the time, and oh my god. And then I got night sweats again, and I was just like, oh, for goodness sake, and I was soaking, and I had to change, and then sometimes I couldn't change because I was bloody hooked up to a damn machine. So that you can imagine how horrible that was. And then I started to feel better, which was good. I was a little bit tired still and a little bit nauseous, but I could stay awake for the whole day instead of like sleeping for most of it. And then it transpired that I did actually have a reaction to the CAR T cells. It was just really, really, really quickly. I had the reaction that most people have within the 36 hours, or have at hour 36, the shivering and stuff like that. So they were like, that's interesting. But I was in for a total of 12 days. They said a minimum of 10, so that wasn't so bad. They were pretty happy with everything, how it was going. Like I said, you get asked all these bloody questions in the morning and at night, and in the end you just start reeling them off to the doctor before they start asking them, because it does get a little bit tedious. And then I had 2 doctors come in, and one of them, the back doctor with his computer, said about Sophie, who was actually the first person to have the CAR T at West Midlands Hospital. I'm around about the 15th. But he said about talking to the other doctor about Sophie being on the news. And I was like, yeah, she was. And then he goes, I might be on the news. And I was like, well, why would I be on the news if I'm like 15th down the line? And he goes, well, nobody's actually got through the CAR T therapy quite as well as I have. And I was like, okay, that's quite cool, but I didn't exactly know what he meant, or whether I wasn't sick, or some people can lose the use of their legs and stuff like that. And I was like, oh, okay. Well, I've only just got the use of my legs back, because my doctor saw me in the wheelchair and was quite pissed off that I was in a wheelchair. I was like, the longer you take getting out of that wheelchair, the longer you're going to take to recover. So I haven't actually been in a wheelchair since. I can walk now. I can just about get up the stairs. That was probably about 2 days ago that I could probably walk upstairs properly. But there are some things that I can't do still, because I am still weak. But I feel so much better. Like, so much better. I can now sleep in the position that I want to sleep instead of it hurting. I do really feel that something's happening. So I've got a scan soon. which will tell me what's happening, because obviously they know that the CAR T cells are definitely working, and I know that too. But to what extent they're working, we don't know yet until I've had the scan. So, and probably when I've had the scan, it will take a week for them to get the results, but we shall see. I went to the doctor yesterday in Birmingham for the checkup, and they took some bloods. Unfortunately, my pick number 4 has come out because it started to bleed at the entry site, which was disgusting. And then as she was trying to get some blood out of it, it stopped. And then she tried to flush it, and then it blocked itself. So yeah, that's the reason it had to come out, and also the fact that it was bleeding. So now every time I have to have bloods, I can't just have it from a pick. I have to be stabbed by a cannula 3 times a week. So my veins, oh God, I'm going to be there for hours whilst they try and get blood from my veins. But still, it needs to be done. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That was my experience. It was a hell of a lot better than previous chemo treatments. Pretty much a breeze in comparison, in all honesty. But like I said, everybody's different. So yeah, that's it. And I've got my dressing gown over my hair because I did take the sides off because I was bored of the granny look. However, my granny look has now gone into broccoli head, so I now look like a stick of broccoli. So therefore, I've hidden it from camera, and it will stay hidden until I actually get in touch with my hairdresser to actually have a decent haircut, because they actually told me, I don't know how many times I have to say actually there, but I got told by the doctors that I would lose my hair again, so I didn't do anything with it as my previous videos, and I still got it. So that's good, but now I've got to do something with it because it is awful, and I've still got me bloody double chins going on because the steroids take weeks, months to go, but I'll get there. Yeah, so that's my experience of CAR T, and I'm going to end it there. Bye!